What y'all doing, guys? Hmm? Did it stop raining? Huh? Well, let's go close the gate. Do you want to join me? Come on, let's go. Let's go. Let's go close the gate. Let's do it. Let's close the gate. Let's close the gate. Ow! I just hit my head on the light. Hi, guys. How you doing over there? You're stranded. I know. It's raining. I know. It's raining, guys. And look at these little kiddos. Let's go close the gate. They're worm hunting, bug hunting. Let's go. Let's show everybody how you run, 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 run. Run, 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 run. Hi, guys. All right, let's go. Let's go close the gate. Gotta close the gate over there. Go close the gate. Let's do it. Hi, everybody. This is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading. And we've had a lot of rain here today in eastern Kentucky. And I've just been kind of hanging out, listing some items on my eBay store. And watching these little chickie poos. And this is what Guinea hens, or they call them Guinea fowls, do. They run around in a pack. And they have a very loud chirp. I'm calling it a chirp. When one of them gets lost, or if they sense danger, they'll all start chirping together. And this happened earlier today when I was in the nonprofit building and I heard them actually screaming. They start screaming. And I ran out because usually when I go into the nonprofit, the cat building, there's usually some criminal on the property that's doing something nefarious. So, I mean, it's quite possible that's what was happening. They were all huddled together like smack in the center of my house, the outside of my house, screaming. I guess about 15 minutes after I went into the nonprofit building. So I ran out. They stopped screaming, and I don't know if there was someone cloaked on the property or that was, you know, hanging around as they usually do. But right now they're hunting for bugs. And welcome to my channel, and welcome all the newcomers. I'm so pleased that you have found me, and that I can offer you some, I guess, not only information about farm life, homesteading, gardening, and stuff like that, but also because I am a targeted individual. I believe that I became targeted 10 years ago in 2012, but when I think back, and this probably happens to you as well, there were a lot of very bizarre things that were happening in my life even prior to that. Not a lot of them, but enough to make your ears perk up that when you fast forward to like 2017, when I realized that life was spiraling out of control for some unknown reason, and then in hindsight you realize that you've been placed in a program, you start to backtrack on where you think it started and who you might have encountered that would have placed you in that program. And I have spoken to other people who said that you could be nominated into the program by multiple people over many years. So let's say I casually piss off someone during my divorce process in the court system. Not a difficult thing to do, given our legal system and the opposing attorneys, etc., etc. And then you fast forward maybe 2 or 3 years and you encounter somebody that you disagree with, and then they may nominate you. So maybe you weren't actually in the program the years prior, but because your name is lingering there somewhere, that when the second group of people nominate you, perhaps you're in a full-blown program or overlapping programs. And this is what I've heard from people, in that everybody who's targeted gets one thing. They get the social engineering program, the microwave radiation, etc. But not everybody gets the level of vandalism and thefts and psychological operations that I get. And I think it depends on your age, who you pissed off, where you live, your assets, what you have that they can steal, how they can harm you, how isolated you are, how big your family is, how supportive your family is, how supportive are your friends. I mean, the isolation is a big deal. We all... I'm an independent woman, and after my divorce, I remained independent, had multiple businesses that I started and was successful at. And I do remember filing a police report, and the chief of police then had me detained, literally detained in the hallway. All I wanted to do was file a report. Somebody hadn't paid me, or I think it was something like that. And one of my friends says, "Oh, just go file a police report." And I figured, I wasn't sure if I should. I wasn't going to get back what was stolen. But I filed it anyway. And then this chief of police had me detained by his police officer, who seemed like a little confused about the whole thing, and called me into his office. He was actually questioning me. And I was very naive at the time. I just figured, okay, you're in a police department, he's asking me questions, maybe he's trying to help me. I was very naive then, because, I have, my cousin is a retired police officer, lieutenant or whatever. And, I've dated ex-cops, or law enforcement, I should say. And I didn't have any reason at that time to suspect anything was nefarious, because, one, I hadn't done anything wrong. I was reporting something that was done to me. And I just wanted to provide the information and stuff. But he started asking me questions about my website. He wanted to see it. He pulled it up. He asked me if I designed it. And I did. I created the whole website from scratch. And I remember after leaving there thinking, this is really bizarre. Okay, but then we're going to fast forward to 2017, when I realize I'm in a program. And then fast forward after that, when just out of nowhere, I think it was my intuition telling me to search online. And somebody must have left it there specifically for me. That's how I feel about it. I feel like somebody specifically left me this information online. And what it was a Manalapan police officer who was part of their little hockey club, who was suing that chief of police in Manalapan Township because they had actually targeted him. And I'll back up a little bit. Maybe I'll discuss this lawsuit in the future. I even presented. I know that when the lawsuit was filed, I actually spoke to the attorney, who was very nice. I mean, I can't say I enjoyed reading his his case, his written case, but he wrote it in a way that was so non-threatening on behalf of this police officer. And basically what it was, and the word targeting never came up, but this chief of police was targeting his police officer for filing a complaint with Internal Affairs. And this is so textbook, it's so whistleblower, it's so textbook. So you have something happening at the office, you go to your boss, you tell them about it. You're hoping for some kind of protection or resolution, and you don't get it. And then it just blows up where now you're the perpetrator and the company's the victim, and then they turn it all around on you. And that's what happened with this police officer. This police officer then became targeted by the department, the chief of police. Do you hear those chirps? The chief of police. The chief of police had called his own police officer an enemy of the state, ordered him to have a mental health evaluation, ordered his police officers to go stalk him, take away his firearms, even his personal one. And this is just to name a few. But in reading that, I backtracked to when this chief of police pulled me aside and wanted to view my website. He was collecting information on me back then, likely to target me. He wanted to see what I had, what he could use. Because also in this police officer's lawsuit, he specifically stated that this chief of police collected information on his police officers, what he called dirt, D-I-R-T, to use against them in the future. And I will add that I believe that he was collecting dirt on me and another single divorced woman who lived down the block from me, who subsequently moved out. She had 2 girls, and she is dead now because they were targeting her. And this is just speculation. I don't have the facts on it, but in hindsight, this is what I believe. So that was something else that I thought was a possibility, that multiple people could place us in a program. And then because multiple people at different times, maybe in 2012, and then somebody in 2014, or maybe somebody in 2016, all these overlapping people that you piss off, don't get along with, etc., that may have culminated in some horrific set of circumstances that you're placed in some horrific, nefarious program. But I just got an alert on my phone that my battery is low. I just ran out. And I hope everybody's doing well on this Saturday. And this is what it looks like after it rains. And it's nice, it's quiet, it's peaceful. Although a perpetrator did just drive by. Just drove by right there. It was my neighbor. But I hope everybody's having a good day. This is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading. And like, comment, subscribe. You leave your comments down below. I love hearing your feedback and whether or not this has happened to you or a friend or a family member. And whether you have, other information for me, I really appreciate it because it helps expand my knowledge. So until the next time, this is Lorraine signing off for today.